I just completed my first day on my new Raid Shadow Legends account, so I'm gonna give you guys 5 tips for day 1 in Raid Shadow Legends. And for one of these tips, we're actually gonna be using Karato Foxhunter, which you guys can get for free by using my link down there in the description. Let me tell you how to do that. Log out of your Polarium Play on your PC, or if you've never had Raid installed on your phone, go ahead and install using the link in the description. After clicking the link in the description, use a brand new email to register for Polarium Play. Then go ahead and launch Raid, complete the tutorial as normal, and then go to your inbox and claim your first champion. Here we go, guys. You'll find Karato in here, and then come back when you hit level 15 and you'll find Uugo. This is an amazing account start in Raid, so click that link and follow the steps. Tip number 1 when you start a brand new account is get your freebies. There's a lot of freebies in Raid Shadow Legends, including promo codes where you can get free legendary champions or other champions. Right now, I love the code Monkey King. If I could type, for brand new accounts, you'll get Sun Wukong, who's an amazing legendary champion and will help you out as you progress along there. Aside from the promo code, we're gonna have daily logins. We got the Alice Chase, where after 7 days, you'll get a free legendary champion. There's also the Call to the Arbiter series, where you can get a bunch of energy and all kinds of stuff just for sharing these videos. And there's energy, there's gems. I would definitely recommend this. It's a great way to get a jump start on your brand new account. And then not to mention in the shop, they give you like a free offers in here from time to time. So make sure you check out the shop. We're getting the free silver pack. That's the one I was looking for there. We're getting all this silver for free. All we gotta do is log in. My next tip is going to be focus on the missions. I went really hard on the missions on day 1, and that allowed me to level up. I'm already level 29. Remember, at level 15, you get that Uugo for free if you use my link in the description, so that's good. But these are gonna give you an idea of what you need to do in the game, where you need to be in the game. This one, when you do get to part 2, be careful on the artifact to level 16. I'll talk about that here in a few, but it's just a good way to kind of guide through here. Also, just start working on some of those dungeons, start working on gearing some of your champions, and there's a ton of freebies. And then like you work through here, you get through this one, you get through the next part, and eventually you're gonna get Arbiter, who's one of the best speed boost champions in the game, not to mention she's got a revive in there. A really good like mid to late game champion as you work towards her. So definitely use those missions to boost up, level up your account, give you a bunch of freebies, but also it'll help teach you about the game. My third tip is to build a champion for farming. If you don't know what farming is in Raid Shadow Legends, it's simply using one champion to level up your other champions essentially. By using Karato, who you can get for free, that's why I'm using him here, we can level up some uncommon champions, rank them up, and then use them to feed into our other champions. This is how you make your champion stronger inside of Raid. So you're not gonna put any gear on these other champions. The 3 uncommons I'm running here, they have 0 gear on them. It's all about Karato clearing through here and getting through the waves. You wanna get as far as you can solo with him, and it's gonna take some time. Like I said, I'm a full day in. We put a lot of work into these champions. We put a lot of work into the game, but put in a little bit of time, get your gear, run some dragon dungeon, run some of these campaign dungeons, and then you'll be able to have him farm for you. You see, he's able to clear this out by himself. Now it does take about a minute, so it does take a little bit of time, but after that, we're gonna be able to rank up some of those champions. Look at that. Yeah, see, that's what we're looking. We could go ahead and level them up, but not to mention, aside from that, from these campaign maps, like you can actually get some gear. Like we can get some speed boots in here. We can get up to level 4 legendary boots. You can run the speed dungeon. It really just depends how far you can get. I'm on hard right now, and if I want to go faster, I could probably go down to normal, but honestly, like I'm probably gonna run speed and I'm gonna run lifesteal for the campaigns to farm. That way I can try to get some of that gear. Also, with the campaigns, you get these awesome rewards. Look at that. We get an ancient shard, we get some gold, we get some gems, we get an artifact in there, some more silver, some more gems, an epic book. You can get some really nice rewards from clearing through the campaign maps, but having a farmer is going to be really, really nice. And then after running those farm runs, you come to the tavern, click upgrade rank, select those 3 champions that you just farmed up, and then use some uncommons to go ahead and upgrade them. Uncommons are really easy to come by. All you have to do is summon with those green shards. You'll be all right. Let's uncheck all these boxes. And there we go. This is how you create what's called food in Raid Shadow Legends. And this is how you're going to upgrade your champions. Now we have 3 3-star pieces of food. If we want, we can go ahead and we can upgrade our spirit host to 4 stars. We also have a chicken in there, which is literal food, but you see we use those uncommons to upgrade Spirit Host to 4 stars. So that's one way that you can go ahead and farm and upgrade your champions. As far as my Karato build, you can use Monkey King also, who you can get for free, like I mentioned earlier. But this is my Karato build right here. I got him in a 4-piece lifesteal, which I got from the dragon. Got really lucky and got a 5-star legendary, but nothing too crazy here. I do have him 1 key number. I have him, and I have crit rate gloves. I have him at 80% crit rate because his aura allows me to run 20% extra crit rate. We also did run Minotaur so I could get just a couple masteries on him as well. So that's how I have my Karato built to farm and help rank up those champions. And this is going to allow us to get stronger over time. And speaking of champions and artifacts, my third tip is not to upgrade any gear to level 16 early on. Very rarely is a piece going to be worth upgrading to level 16, and it involves using a ton of silver. Unless you find a 5-star early on legendary piece of equipment, I would not recommend it. Now, one piece like I, for example, might consider taking to 16 is something like this. It's got crit rate, double roll on the attack. It's on our attack champion. Early on, this is a pretty nice piece of equipment, but these are few and far between. Like, it is very hard. Even like these free epic savage gear I'm getting, like, it's okay, don't get me wrong, but the stat rolls aren't like super amazing on it. And we got flat defense here. Like, a lot of the time, like, the gear is just not going to be worth taking up to level 16. So don't waste your silver. It's gonna, in some cases, cost you millions of silver to go up to level 16. Unless you find a really epic, amazing piece of equipment, don't waste your silver early on. Going to level 12 is going to be fine. You can build your champions just fine. And also with the gear, a lot of times in Raid Shadow Legends, most of the time, in fact, you're going to want to go for percent over flat stats. So what I mean is HP percent over like just base HP, like this one right here. But yeah, like I said, just don't waste too much silver going up to 16. Like, don't waste any silver going up to 16 until you absolutely have to, or you're getting some really consistent, really good, at least at minimum 5-star gear. My next tip has to deal with gems. If you're being a free-to-play player, these are super valuable. I haven't spent any gems yet, but we already almost have 1,000. Things you could spend gems on that are going to be beneficial to you. The Guardian Ring is really nice to invest in. You put a champion in here and they gain experience over time. This is essentially getting free runs, free farming runs, by just putting a champion in here. Another thing you can invest in is the gem mine. Now for the gem mine, I would recommend investing in this if you plan on playing Raid for a while. It's 500 gems and you get 1 gem every 4.5 hours essentially. So you'll get almost 6 gems a day, but you have to be on top of it because the capacity is only 5. So you'll make that investment back, but it does take some time, and then you'll be profitable making the gems that way. So that's definitely something you can invest in. I think I'm gonna go ahead and unlock the 2nd slot of the Guardian Ring, just because I think for farming and early on getting another champion up, or like getting those champions up for like free essentially, it's gonna be really, really nice. I mean, we could unlock up to 5 slots here. Another thing that sometimes you can get away with, I don't know, it's a little bit sketchy, and I probably shouldn't even say this one, but the big shard pack isn't the worst value. If there's a 2x ancient pack or pool event going on, this is an okay pack. You're gonna spend essentially, if you go by certain calculators and stuff, like $14 worth of gems for what's essentially $11 worth of shards. So you do lose a little bit of value there. This is a way that you could pull shards and get some new champions. I would only recommend this if there's a special 2x ancient event going on. I wouldn't recommend it any other time. And then even then, again, you're losing a little bit of value there. Another thing you can use gems on is for energy, but I would wait until you max your energy at 130 before even considering that. That way you get the most value out of that. So just be careful with how you're spending your gems in Raid Shadow Legends. One thing I do on my main account a ton is I use it on masteries. I don't know that I'm going to use it here, but it's 800 gems essentially to get all the masteries, to get all the scrolls. I just think it's a time saver and it's just convenient for me. So on my main account, I do like to use it on masteries, just me as a personal preference. But honestly, I think Guardian Ring, Gem Mine, I think those are really nice investments. Actually, let's go ahead, let's unlock the Gem Mine here today as well. Since I do plan on playing this account for a while, we'll eventually make that investment back. In my 5th and final tip for today's video is to rush a champion up to 6 stars. This is tough to decide who to get your first 6 star. out of the champions that we got early on, I mean, you can get these same champions here. These 4 right here, you can all get with me. Honestly, out of these 4, these 2 are going to be attackers. They're really good. They're good for farming. They're great. Kale's going to be an attacker also. He's going to be really good at clan boss. But for me, I think my first 6-star champion, and I have a lot of work to do, might be Uugo. I like Uugo quite a bit. We can get 30% increased speed buff and block damage when we get the ascension up and get that passive up whenever she's the last living. And then this one right here, Ugo's Brew, is really nice. Removes all hero reduction debuffs. It removes 1 random debuff from all allies, etc., etc. If all allies are dead, revives them with 50% HP and fills their turn meter by 50% instead. So it's a little bit of a revive. We don't have a consistent reviver on there. We also have decreased defense and block buffs. And I just think Uugo is going to be a really nice champion, not to mention the leech on there. So I think for me, my first 6-star is going to be Uugo. Obviously, I got a lot of work to do. It really depends on your account, what you have and what your objectives are. I like Uugo, a really, really nice support champion. I still use Uugo on my main account to this day. On my main account, I still use Sun Wukong, don't get me wrong, but he's more primarily focused on arena. He is really good in like Hydra early on. I mean, you could take a look at rankings and see where these guys are excelling at, what they're good at, and the rankings just got reset, so they're good. Even Karato, I feel like gets a bad rap, but Karato's really solid early on. I feel like he gets a little bit of a bad rep. I think he's closer to 4-star in a lot of these locations. Kale is a really solid champion here. You can see all the rankings. And then even taking a look at Uugo, like we got Hydra, like Uugo. That's why I think I'm going with Uugo, is just these rankings here. So I would recommend getting a champion up to 6 stars as soon as possible. You just get so many stat increases. It makes them a lot easier to build. It just takes a lot of effort. You got to farm up all those champions, farm up all that food, and it's a lot of effort. It's a lot of energy, but also like using that guardian ring is going to come in handy there. And honestly, when I get 300 more gems, I think I'm going to invest in the guardian ring. Probably shouldn't have invested in the gem. I should have probably went guardian ring, but that's going to be my 5 tips for your day 1 in Raid Shadow Legends based on my experiences on my day 1. Remember guys, if you follow the link down there in the description, you'll get Karato and Uugo for free, so you can follow along with me on that journey and just kind of play alongside me. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Come back tomorrow and I'll see you on the next one.